Good afternoon, students. Welcome to this counseling session organized by BUS Academic for the subject Financial Management. I'm sure all of you must be preparing hard and preparing for your upcoming examination. I'm sure that you have also practiced this subject thoroughly. You have gone through this subject thoroughly. BUS always tries to help its student on various ways. So this was one of the initiative in which we want to discuss that how we should be appearing in the paper, what are the modalities to be done, etc., etc. Right. So first of all, what we'll do today is we'll discuss about the syllabus, the content, and the weightage it is having. Then I will discuss about skill-wise weightage, how much theoretical question, how much practical question you can expect. And then we can also discuss about the synopsis of various chapters. And I can see that some of you have already joined and sending your queries. So whatever may be the queries you have, you may send to us for your ready understanding, for your ready references, right? Okay. So accordingly, I'm starting the session, and first, we are commencing with the weightage. So let us go through that weightage. And if you have any queries regarding the weightage and all, immediately you please let me know. So the first section of the syllabus, financial management and financial analysis, and financial analysis through ratio. This is the first segment. So the introduction part is there, and financial analysis through ratio part is also there. So this is the section-wise weightage we have. Just a moment, I will be using various pen for you people. So this is the 10 to 15% section-wise weightage, and in terms of marks, it is having 7 to 10 marks. Financing decision, 40 to 45%, and marks, if you see, it is 29 to 33 marks. So this was the first part, where the introduction part is there. Mainly the theoretical question will come from there, and then the ratio analysis. Different kind of ratios will be involved in this part, that is of 7 to 10 marks. So sources of finance, cost of capital, capital structure, and leverage. So these are the second part, which is of 29 to 33 marks, 40 to 45% marks. Third, capital investment and dividend decision, which is of 30 to 35%, that is of 22 to 25 marks. That is capital investment and dividend decision. So capital investment decision, then the risk analysis in capital budgeting, and the dividend decision. These three is included here in the third part, which is of 22 to 25 marks. So this is the third part, which is basically capital budgeting, risk analysis in capital budgeting, and the dividend decision. And the management of working capital, we have seen that 10 to 15% and marks wise 8 to 10 marks generally comes from here. Then skill wise weightage, the level 1 is 20% to 30%. Level 2 is 70 to 80%, means the numerical questions are expected of this marks. So if the paper is of 70 to 72 marks, then around 49 numbers will be of the numerical question, 48 to 50 marks, and balance will be the theoretical question. Generally, the last question, question number 6, is theoretical question, and all other questions are numerical, right? So chapter wise also, I will just brief it to you. Let me see if you have any queries in between. Use of tandem committee at present is not there, but obviously it was used for granting loan for current working capital, very famous report. So that is basically given in the working capital, right? So if you have any other further queries, you please let us know. Okay, now carrying on. Scope and objectives of financial management: long-term finance decision function, short-term finance decision oblique function. Scope and objective of financial management: profit maximization versus wealth maximization. Then role and function of CFO. The relationship of financial management with other disciplines. So this is the first part. So basically the theoretical part you need to cover from here: scope and objective, profit maximization versus wealth maximization, very, very important concept. Role and functions of CFOs, relationship of financial management with other disciplines. So if you see the syllabus and what is there in your first unit, the finance decision, all the finance decision, you can see it here. So finance decision can be divided into two parts. One is long term, one is short term. And long term finance decision is divided into investment decision, financing decision, dividend decision, and then working capital decision. Then investment decision is divided into various segments. Investment decision, risk analysis in capital budgeting. Then type of financing, cost of capital, capital structure and leverage, and dividend decision and management of working capital. So these are different segments which is there in case of finance decision. Cost of capital, cost of debt, cost of preference share, cost of equity, cost of retained earnings. So cost of debt, cost of preference, cost of equity, cost of retained earnings, the combination of this cost and weight of each resources of capital. Weighted average cost of capital. Weighted average cost of capital also you have to do. So individually, when you will be running through the chapter cost of capital, you will be going through cost of debt, cost of preference share, cost of equity, and cost of retained earnings. And combination of all this, when you will be doing, there will be concept of weighted average cost of capital. So this is a very important chapter which you need to go through. Then what is there in the next chapter? That is capital structure. I'll just inform you the capital structure chapter. So you can see in capital structure, there are mainly two parts. One is the capital structure theories. There are numerical question and theoretical question both. Writing theory doesn't mean only theoretical question will come from here. The concept of financing decision has been divided. The capital structure theories has been divided into the first five parts. NI approach, traditional approach, NOI approach, Modigliani and Miller approach, and financial hierarchy. So Modigliani and Miller approach, if you talk about, with tax and without tax, financial hierarchy, trade-off theory, and pecking order theory. Financial hierarchy, if you talk about, trade-off theory and pecking order theory. So Modigliani and Miller approach, with tax and without tax, both we can consider. And financial hierarchy, if you see that trade-off theory and pecking order theory. So you have to go through all these approaches. And when you will go through the MM approach, you have to go through with tax and without tax. So both theoretical question and numerical question can come from this capital structure. Then from capital structure, there is another type of numerical which generally comes is which capital structure is better. So you need to calculate the EPS. EPS means what? Earning per share. So you need to calculate earning per share in this, and accordingly, we need to find it out that how it can be done. Financing decision, leverage, profitability. If you see the profitability statement, so sometime you need to prepare the profitability statement, then you need to calculate degree of operating leverage, degree of financial leverage, and degree of combined leverage. Sometime with the help of different kind of leverage, you need to prepare the statement, the profitability statement. So both the things can be there. So concept wise, you should be very, very straightforward. Like sales less variable cost, that is going to be contribution, less fixed cost, operating profit, less interest, that will be earning before tax, less tax, that is profit after tax, preference dividend, less preference dividend, if any, that will be your next one, if there is any, otherwise you can skip it. Then net earnings available to equity shareholders oblique PAT, then number of equity shares, that is, if we divide that, then it will be EPS. So when we are calculating degree of operating leverage, it will be contribution by EBIT. When you are calculating the degree of financial leverage, it will be EBIT by EBIT by EBT. And when you are talking about the combined leverage, then it will be from the sales to EPS. So if you multiply degree of operating leverage and degree of financial leverage, that will become degree of combined leverage. Similarly, if you want to calculate the degree in percentage, then EPS with sales, this to this will be your total or degree of combined one. Then this to this will be your first one, and this to this will be your second one. And then this will be your degree of operating leverage, degree of financial leverage, degree of combined leverage. So combination of this is going to be your financial leverage. Investment decision. Next is going to be investment decision. Type of investment decision, basic principles, capital budgeting, and then various technique of investment decision you need to go through. What are the various decision you have? We have payback period, we have ARR, we have NPV, PI, IRR, modified internal rate of return, and discounted payback period. So these are the different techniques of capital budgeting we have. Yeah, because Mansa has asked that under new course type of financing is very large because more details things are there. So you need to go through the brief part. Major concepts are going to be same, but the brief of each and every areas basically you need to go through, right? Yes. So continuing with the investment decision, this already I told you that these are the things you need to go through. Then dividend decision. There are different theories of dividend: irrelevance approach, relevance approach, other models, approach, Walters model, Gordon model, dividend discount model, Graham-Dodd model, and Walters model. These are the models we need to go through. You need to understand all these three: approach, Walters model, Gordon model, dividend discount model, Graham-Dodd model, and Walters model. So irrelevance approach and relevance approach both is there. Then management of working capital. Management of working capital, the introduction part: treasury and cash management, management of inventory, management of receivable, management of payable, financing of working capital. So these are the first part which you need to go through. So the working capital will be current asset minus current liability, and these are different parts of working capital. Estimating the working capital needs, the operating to working capital needs, functions of treasury department, methods of cash flow budgeting, inventory management, approaches to evaluation of credit policies, financing receivable, cost benefits of credit, computation of cost of payables, working capital finance from banks, forms of bank credit. So if you have any doubts from any of these chapters, you please let me know if you have any query. I will discuss certain specific points now for the examination purpose. Anybody is having any doubt, just put across your question. So from examination point of view, now let me discuss that what are the things we can follow. So the if you see the numerical part and the theoretical part, if you go through the first part which I have shown it to you here. So basically introduction part will chapter is there, mainly the theoretical question. Then chapter 2, type of financing, again mainly the theoretical question. Then the ratio analysis, numerical question mainly. Then cost of capital, capital structure, leverage, all are numerical questions. Then investment decision, risk analysis in capital budgeting, dividend decision, management of working capital. These all are the numerical chapters you need to follow. So working capital, there can be numerical, dividend decision, there can be numerical, capital budgeting, there can be numerical. So these all are the numerical chapters. The regular updates you must go through. Since this is a very dynamic subject, it's very important that you should go through all the regular features like markets, exchanges like Nifty, BSE, reading the newspapers every day. So what are the latest development in the field of finance you must go through? That's going to be one of the very, very important aspect. Second, practice more and more numerical question. As you know that around 80% of the subject is the practical subject, and there are a lot of questions will come from here as a numerical. So more and more practice of the numerical question will be very, very important on the concept of cost of capital, capital structure, working capital, dividend decision, leverage, etc., etc. Then conceptual understanding, thoroughly understand the concept of investment decision. Then risk analysis in capital budgeting, which earlier was in final subjects. Then dividend decision, working capital management. So these all are very, very important, aspect where you need to understand the conceptual understanding. So if you don't understand the concept, these are the chapters in which you will not be able to perform well. Then mugging up the formula. Many times we have seen that we mug up the formula. Capital budgeting, that I have to do in this way. Cost of capital, I have to do in this way. Then dividend decision, working capital management. So it's very important that all these concepts you understand through the logic. So capital budgeting, why NPV is, how NPV is calculated, and what is the logic behind it. How the IRR is calculated and when the IRR calculation is there. So all these kind of things, you will be able to understand if you understand the logic of it. So when the NPV will be net present value will be 0. So that is the time where we have to find out that at what rate NPV is going to be 0. That's going to be your internal rate of return. While writing the theoretical part, particularly the use of working notes, tables, bullet points, diagrams, flowcharts, etc. These all are the things, wherever necessary in the theoretical question, we have to put it. So we have to make use of the working notes, tables, bullet points, diagram, flowcharts, etc. wherever necessary, particularly in the theoretical paper. While the question based on calculation of cost of capital, students lack conceptual clarity regarding any of the specific formula to be followed with respect to a particular method. While calculating the cost of retained earning, sometimes we get confused between using the issue price and the market price. Generally, we have seen that the issue price after adjusting the floating cost is used while calculating the cost of equity, and market price is used while calculating the cost of retained earning. So absence of data, another may be used. So this is where we have seen a lot of confusion comes, and a lot of you fails to understand that how you should be doing it in the examination condition. Then in case of investment decision, there may be certain questions where decision making needs to be done between two choices, like whether to buy a new machinery or repair the existing one. So students lack identifying net cash outflow or inflow. They sometimes forget to add back the depreciation after calculating the profit after tax, leading to a wrong decision. Then working capital management is also one of the core topics where questions are being asked in most of the examination. But students still lack of conceptual clarity when it comes to management of receivables. They are unable to understand. Sometimes you feel problem in credit terms like cash discount, the opportunity cost of investment receivable to be considered while deciding between the present and the proposed policy. So working capital management, particularly the receivable management, this is one area. Then investment decision is another area. And then cost of capital is another area where we have seen that a lot of errors, particularly in the examination condition, happen. So you need to be very, very careful. Many indifference level can arise when there can be many situations where EBIT will give you the same EPS. So that time only indifference level can be different. So if you have any other question, you just let me know. Otherwise, I will go through the mock test paper. So what are the, have you seen the mock test paper all? So this is the mock test paper. I am sure that you have gone through, and practicing the mock test paper in examination condition will give you a lot of benefit. So briefly, I will discuss. First question, if you can you see the screen? No? Okay, I'll just share it. I'll be sharing the screen, yes. So MTP question I am sharing now. Can you see it now? Okay, very good. So if you see the questions, the first question of MTP 1 of 5 marks. The first few questions are of 5 marks. Can you see the screen now? MTP, can you see? I have shared the screen, whether you are able to see the MTP. Shall I stop and do it again? Let me stop it and do it again. So sharing screen. Whether it has come now, MTP. Sure. So now, first question, if you see that it was of dividend decision, and in the first question you need to calculate. These are the very traditional question, and many times we have to see this kind of questions where you need to compute the approximate dividend payout ratio. I will just put it here. So these are the information which is given, as you can see it here. So net profit is given, outstanding 12% preference share is given, then number of equity shares which is of 3 lakh, return on investment which is of 20%, cost of capital is 16%, then compute the approximate dividend payout ratio so as to keep the share price at 105. So this is the question which is of dividend decision question. I'll go to the answer later on. So then second one is a traditional ratio question where you need to prepare the balance sheet. So some of the ratios are given. And then you need to find it out that what can be the balance sheet. Then capital structure of Roshan Limited for the year ended. So calculate the following: degree of financial leverage at 18 lakh units and 15 lakh units. Then degree of operating leverage at 18 lakh units and 15 lakh units. Percentage change in EPS. Then the company's equity share is quoted in the market at 125 per share currently. The company pays a dividend of 10 per share, and investor market expect a growth of 6% per year, and we need to calculate the cost of capital. So there are two parts in, and the second part we need to calculate the YTM, cost of debenture, using YTM, or yield to maturity. So this is a more popular technique of calculating cost of capital. Whether you will be appearing in the single group or not, that will entirely depend that how is your preparation is. But you need to devote time for all the subject. That's very essential. There are changes in cost and FM, because earlier it was 50-50 marks. Now costing itself is 100 marks, and financial management is of 60 marks. So 160 marks is the total subject. So accordingly, you need to devote more time. Right? PRI Limited and SHA Limited are identical. However, their capital structure differs as follows. The borrowing rate for both the companies is 8%. Then we need to calculate the required rate of return. SHA Limited has same net operating income. Calculate the implied required return of SHA Limited. Analyze why does it different from PRI Limited. So these are different situation. This was the question related to the capital structure. A very good question, and it will be helpful for you if you practice this question in the examination condition and then you match with the answer. Then the question number 3, where you can see that opening balance sheet and closing balance sheet, 2 balance sheet was given. So this was related to the working capital. So we needed to calculate the net operating cycle, number of operating cycle, and annual amount of working capital required. Then the next question, which was related to the cost of capital. This was the question number 5. So another very important question you can see. And the treatment of depreciation also, you should be very careful that what technique has been followed, whether it is WDV or straight line, and whether the block of asset concept of income tax has been used or not. Then the question number 5, which was related to the expected net cash flow related to risk analysis in capital budgeting, then distinguishing the sensitivity analysis and scenario analysis. And the last question is a theoretical question, which is basically from the first part and from the part of type of financing. So you can see that this particular question, if you see that, will be from generally from first unit and the second unit, and numerical questions will be there from the other units. So I'll just show you that how the presentation can be done as far as possible. Numerical presentation cannot be done exactly the way it has been presented in the study material or practice manual, but the concept should be the similar, and better presentation will fetch you more marks. So that's very important. So the first question, if you see, if you have any query in understanding, you please let me know in any of the question or mock test. Yes. In any of the question or mock test, if you have any query, or in general, any subject related queries, you please let me know. So in the first question, if you see the financial management and economy of finance, so this is the dividend payout. First question, simple application of formula. Then based on the ratio analysis, we have calculated the balance sheet. Income statement with required calculation. So previous year and current year, both we have done, and then we have also calculated the leverage, the financial leverage, operating leverage, and EPS. Cost of equity, expected dividend per share divided by market price per share plus growth rate. Then cost of debenture. Use it YTM. So very, very important for you to calculate YTM or yield to maturity. Then the question of the return on share. Then working capital, very simple question, and a similar type of number of days. If you see very carefully whether it is given given as 360 or 365, so accordingly you please do your calculation. If nothing is given, you please have your own assumption. Then the alternative, this is a very important question regarding the disposal of waste. So capital budgeting decision making question, and the next question is again similar type of question you will find in the study material. And then a sensitivity analysis and ratio analysis, the difference. Then the theoretical question of financial distress and insolvency, clean packing credit against hypothecation of goods, packing credit against pledge of goods, ECGC guarantee, forward exchange contract, callable bond, puttable bond, and features of samurai bond. So this all are there in the first part. So if you have any query, you just let me know. Any doubt in understanding? Hansa, is it clear? The mock test paper, whether you have practiced in the real time situation, and whether you have any doubts, or if anybody is having any doubt. So what are the things you should be doing at present? You should be practicing as many mock test paper as possible. and then only you will match with the solution whether you have done the solution correctly or not. Do you have any query, anybody? Yes, it is important. Miller or theory is given, but you may find a practical question, you never know. You will find practical question of Bauman model also. So based on those concepts, practical question may also come. Watch out for mock test paper 2. I don't know whether you have seen or not. In mock test paper 2, yes. I will just check whether mock test paper 2 I think already is available. So you can attempt that one as well. Yeah, both question and solution has been uploaded. So you will find some different type of questions there. Okay. Any doubt you have? Anybody is having any doubt? So very important paper and very scoring paper for a change. So you need to be very focused on this paper. You need to practice lot of numerical question of this particular subject, and accordingly you can understand that how the approach should be. Theoretical question, whenever you will be writing, you should be having your bullet points, point wise you should be able to write it. Okay. Any doubt, any question you have? Okay, so this paper is of 60 marks. So this paper along with the economic for finance combined one paper. So if you prepare this paper well, you will be getting a lot of marks. Right. So I think we have done the discussion, and I've given you certain tips that which are the question which we can go wrong, and all we wish you all the best for this particular examination. Keep practicing the mock test paper, keep practicing the question as much as possible. I'm sure that you will be able to do well in this examination. So all the best from my side. Thank you very much, and we hope that that you will perform well in this particular examination. Thank you very much.
पार्थी, हेलो,
आपने बंद कर दिया था? हेलो, अभी क्लोज किया, पहले क्लोज किया?